Okay, so I have cleaned my shoes since the last time I went on a hike because actually it was a muddy hike and you want to make sure that there's no mud left on your shoes before you go to a new place. And I'm just going to spray them down with isopropyl alcohol to make sure that they're extra sanitized. Ua lu kini kini ka hua o hiʻa lehua mai o a o lono nui a kea. Hali hali ia e ka e he uhulu makani. Hiʻi poi ia e ka poli mahana o kane hoa o honua mea. Ua ua mole, ua mo hala ela o ka apapane. O ka mamo, o ka nuku I iwi, o ka ahihi. Mai hiki lalo ai hiki luna e vai hone e hali I mokula. Ua I kea, ahe leo no ia. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is make sure we collect them at the right stage. So here we have some fruits that are still green, so they're too immature. If we collect these, the seeds won't be old enough. They'll be still developing inside and they won't ripen after the fact. And then if we come down here, we can see some empty pods. So they've opened up. You can see that there's no seeds inside. We're too late for this particular cluster. They probably released last year, perhaps. But if we come down here, we can see that maybe this one is still a little bit too green, but we have a couple individual capsules right here that you can see they're brown, they're cracked open, and the seeds are even starting to come out from the inside of the capsule. So that's perfect. So the next thing I'm going to do is identify what type of ʻŌhiʻa I'm going to collect the seeds from. And I can tell from this, so I see that the leaf edges are flat. There's no curling under of the leaves. There is also fuzziness on the underside of the leaf, and that combination it typically means it's a Metrosideros polymorpha variety in Canna. But interestingly, if I take my fingernail, I can actually scrape the fuzziness off of the leaves. And so what that tells me is this is probably a hybrid between Incana and variety Glaberrima. Okay, and now I'm going to collect the seeds by placing my collecting bag underneath. And I'm going to see if I can tap out the seeds at all. And they're kind of stuck. Oh, some of them are coming out. They're kind of stuck inside these two capsules though. So it's actually okay. Oh, you can see some seeds coming out, but it is okay to go ahead and collect the individual capsules. Since some of these capsules are green, I'm going to try to leave them. Of course, they're really hard to get off. Okay, I'm trying to do it so that any seeds that fall off fall into my bag as well. But usually you can just pinch off something that's this size. Is, even though it's woody, it's so small that there's very low risk of there being any fungus if there were to be rod here. But you do want to make sure you don't, if I were to take one piece, you don't want to like rip it off so that you peel a bunch of skin off of the branch, because that could create the type of injury that would be susceptible to rod. And then you also want to just handle the branches gently so that you don't accidentally like pull them too hard and break them and create other injuries. And I think, oh, you know what? I see. Here's a couple more that we can take with us. I'm going to try to leave the green ones and just collect the brown ones. So you can see that one has seeds inside, and we'll be able to do some processing later to remove these seeds out of these pods. And I'm going to take this pod as well. And I think that's it. I'm going to leave these green ones here to keep ripening on the tree. And these are already empty. Actually, this one has a couple seeds inside, so I'll take that one too, since there might be a few seeds we can save. Okay. So the next thing we want to do is enter the data for our seed collection. And I've gone to the Kobo Toolbox web app, which is what we're using to collect data for the Rapid ʻŌhiʻa Death Seed Banking Initiative. And you can find this by going to the laukahi.org website, and there is a page for seed collection. And I've gone forward through a couple of the entry pages, but this is where we're going to indicate which type of ʻŌhiʻa we're collecting. So I'm going to choose hybrid and then go to the next screen. And this is where I can explain that I think that this is Metrosideros and Canna crossed with Glaberrima. Okay, now that I've collected my seeds, I'm going to place the collection, it's closed, so the seeds can't come out. I'm going to place it in my backpack, and it's okay to carry them in your backpack for the day, but do make sure that when you get home, you don't leave them in the car. You try to go ahead and process them and get them dry as soon as you can so that the seeds don't lose viability. Okay, and one more thing that we've been asked to do, at least on Oahu, is to use red flagging to flag the trees that we've collected from, so that if we do try to come back and collect more from this particular trail, then we know that this is a tree that has already been collected from. So I'm going to flag it like that. And then here's an example of what your collection might look like. So here's an empty cluster of capsules, and you've got seeds down there. So this one has already released most of its seeds. But if you did have a little bit left in there, you could use something like a dental pick, toothpick, or a needle to kind of coax out the last few seeds if they're pretty open. If they are not, if they're only like kind of cracking open and you've still got seeds inside, another thing you can use is like needle nose pliers with a kind of a flat needle nose, and you can really gently take and like softly crush your capsule. So you don't want to like keep mashing it and pulverizing it into little bits, because then you'll end up with debris that's the same size as your seeds. But if you just very gently like just crack them a little bit, like cracking a nut, then you'll be able to get all the seeds out, and you'll still have large debris that you can sieve and separate later. Then this is what your collection, if you're going to do the processing, the post-harvest processing and ripening, your collection is going to look like this. You're going to sort of turn them all facing down, and make sure you put your 5 basic pieces of information on a piece of paper. set it in there with each tray, each individual tree, right? And then you can leave it like this for a while, a few days, maybe a week. And then it'll look like this, where, I don't know how well you can see, but yeah, I think you can see there's seeds inside down in the bottom of the tray. And then the next thing you're going to do is use a sieve like this, and you have another tray, and I'm just going to take them, pour them through the sieve, drop it all in there, and then here's my cooking show. Shake them up a little bit, and you get all of the capsules here in the sieve and all of your nice clean seeds in the tray. So you take whatever size piece of paper. So this is like the full size, this is a quarter, this is an eighth, I think. So you're gonna fold it in half the long way, and then you're gonna take these two parallel open sides and fold them in towards each other with a good wide margin, two parallel sides. So now you've just got one open end at the top. It's gonna get folded over like that. And so now you can secure this with tape after you've filled it with the seeds, and you have no open corners or edges. You can also take this back, open it up like this. A little harder with the big one, but now you have an open container that you can fill the seeds, place them inside, and then fold over that last one and secure it here. So you want to make sure not to overfill. If it's really bulging, then you might have this start to come out, but as long as it's not overfilled, this will hold in all of your seeds. And again, make sure you put your basic pieces of information on this paper packet to submit to the seed bank.